Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that a nation that continues to consume more than it produces, a nation that imports more than it exports, is a nation that is destined to fail, as there will be no meaningful development of any nation without harnessing its export sector potentials for the good of the nation. In the case of Nigeria, we know that developing the non-oil export sector is absolutely an imperative, given that it holds vast potential for generating a significant amount of foreign exchange earnings. In some countries, the period of repatriation ranges from less than 6 months from exportation of product and could result in prosecution if proceeds are not repatriated as and when they fall due. In Ghana, for instance, export earnings must be repatriated to the country, at least 40% of which must be converted to the domestic currency within 15 working days of repatriation. Exporters may hold the remainder in a foreign exchange account in Ghana. In India, the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act permits realization and repatriation of the export proceeds within the 9 months from the date of export. In these countries, it is compulsion. If you don't, you break the law. In Nigeria, whereas it is compulsion to so a little extent, all we do is monitor and appeal to exporters or for people to export, and when they do export, that they should repatriate their proceeds and use it for the good of their company and the country in general. We keep hearing cases of people trying as much as possible to sidetrack the process. And all I can do now is to continue to appeal to those of us who believe that we want to do export without documentation to please try as much as possible to desist from this practice. We will continue to engage customs. We will continue to engage Nigerian Ports Authority. And we will continue to engage the shipping line or shipping agents to ensure that we nip in the bud the incidents of exporting without documentation. What you do is that you hurt the export earning potentials of the country when you do this. About 3 years ago, when I held a meeting at the Central Bank of Nigeria, Lagos, with the shipping lines, I had said that the central bank will be beaming some searchlights on undocumented exports. And we had advised the shipping lines at that meeting that we would also be monitoring, and if we find that they export cargoes without documentation, that we will penalize them, including placing their accounts on PND. Post no debit, and I'm sure we all know what post no debit means. We have so far not done anything like that, just because we feel that our shipping lines will be responsible to do what is right. But if we do not see the kind of cooperation that we'll expect, I'd have to insist that we will do what we need to do.